All right. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, this is delayed, and I'm lucky I'm painting because my pen isn't working. I didn't check it before I jumped on, so luckily for me, this is delayed. But if I need some finessing, I'm gonna be in trouble. Let's see how much control I actually have. I have control over it. It's a little steady, but we'll make it work. But hey, how you guys doing? My name's Heero. This is the Stranger's comic book. We're gonna be drawing today, and also reviewing Spider-Man: No Way Home. While I'm reviewing it, this will be showing when I'm in spoilers. So when I'm talking about spoilers, this will be up. But since I'm not talking about spoilers right now, we will take it down. So if you have not gone and seen this movie, please go see it. Also, why are you here? Why are you on the internet? Like, why would you subjugate yourself to that? Are you a zealot for pain? Is that something you? Is that do you fuck with the war? Do you mess with the Vikings? Like, why are you a zealot for pain? So I think we'll also do like a color combination. We're no spoilers right now. We'll go red. Non-spoilers, we're red. So once we go into spoilers, I'll definitely let you guys know, and you guys will see the spoiler sign up above my head. But for now, we're not in spoilers, so let's talk about it. I actually prepared notes, so I'm not just a rambling idiot. All right, so this will be the start of it. Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Heero, and I'm gonna review the No Way Home Spider-Man movie. Let's just first put this out there. The movie is good. There's no doubt about it. The movie's good. It has a pace, a flow, dare I even say a level of like intimacy about it. You feel where he's coming from. Now, out of the three movies, easily for me the most the film I felt the most engaged in. And sorry about my mic, you guys. I'm probably making a lot of noise. Let me set this up real quick. The movie that I probably felt the most engaged with was the first one, Homecoming. There was something about his youth and the situation he was in, dealing with the Vulture, that really just resonated with me. Like, Peter just doesn't understand what it is to be an adult. His sense of entitlement to do the right thing cost him everything. And there's a question to be asked, like, in the adult world, and for all you guys, spoiler alert for Homecoming, in a world where problems are happening because of people you know, if Tony Stark didn't do what he did, Adrian Toome is fine. He's left to his devices. But does Adrian Toome actually go out and keep his word? And I think if we're going to give people the benefit of the doubt on the good side, we also have to give people the benefit of the doubt on the bad side. And that wasn't the case in Spider-Man Homecoming. So it really rubbed me the wrong way to see that play out, and not play out appropriately. I feel like definitely feel like Spider-Man took a situation he was not equipped to handle and did what he thought was best, and it ended up hurting people he cares about in the long run. So that was my feels on it. So now we look into the future. Spider-Man No Way Home is a great movie. I'm just going to say that outright. It is a great movie. I think the premise, I think the mindset and everything that comes with it was really well done. But that doesn't mean that I found everything about the movie to be subjectively good. The action, I don't know what it is about Phase 2 Marvel. Phase 2 Marvel has Air Force energy, Black Air Force energy, because their fight sequences are brutal. Since Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, I have been watching a lot of these clips and these fight sequences and just saying to myself audibly, oh my goodness, is that real? Did they really do that with somebody? And the answer is yes, man. These people are coming for it. And that's just a testimony to, like, their awesome fight sequences. But you love to see it. I was thoroughly impressed with the fight sequences in this movie and how practical a lot of them were. That was another shocker to me because I just didn't expect to see that many practical actions. Shout out to what's his name, Green Goblin. But the actor in himself, what's his name? His name is escaping me. It's gonna bother me. Y'all know who he is, but he did a lot of his own stunts, and I really do appreciate that. There's a great moment, and when you're watching it, is when he's in the alleyway and he's running away from the trash can. That run he projects is that flailing run. He eats the scenery so much. Me not knowing his name is gonna bother me. Let me Google this real quick because he definitely deserves that recognition. Willem Dafoe. Yes, Willem Dafoe. He did so good with this. And it spoke to me. Like, he eats the scenery in his version of the movie, but he definitely enjoys it and adds to the character in this movie. That transformation, when that transformation hits, shit gets real. So I really did enjoy the character buildings in this movie. This movie felt like it was definitely too long, but I felt like it was rushed. And there are parts in it that I could have easily picked out to be like, yeah, this is too much, or we don't need to talk about this, or we can bypass this. But all in all, I wasn't upset with it. It was just at a point, like, it was at a point where I was sitting in the theater and I felt like sitting still, because it was a packed theater I went to. Sitting still for as long as I was sitting still, I felt that creak in my body where I wanted to move and I couldn't because there was just so much going on in the movie and I was just focusing on moving it. But it got to a point where my body started to say, like, man, can I get up and stretch? Can I get an intermission? 2 hours and some change is a good movie, but like this is a movie I would have much thoroughly watched at home. The pandemic has spoiled me. I'm not gonna lie. Watching these movies at home definitely would have been a lot easier to handle, so to say. So I am definitely hold on. I want to share this real quick because the group. Well, actually, let's share the Facebook, YouTube one. Well, I'll share the YouTube link of it. But yeah, so that was just the general gist on that. So it was a good movie, and I'll give my proper rating and all that stuff at the end. What else did I have right here? Maybe I should get this chat in there. Let's get the chat in there. Let's just go. Let's just go. Whatever I did to my settings is for this channel is messing my frequency rate up. So copy link. My review paste. All right. Oh, it shows that I'm live also on what's it called? Let me get to the Jewish crew. Okay. All right. So I just posted it there. What up, Cassandra? These bots have really been traveling everywhere. The Vacast Tech bots, you guys are traveling wherever you guys are traveling. But yeah, so let's get into it. So let's get into some of the things, non-spoilery things that happened that made me say, Peter is book smart, but definitely not street smart. And it just depends on what they need him to do. there are times in the movie where Peter is doing things, and this speaks to my overarching issue with Peter Parker in this movie. Peter Parker at times in this movie is very dumb, but also we are so expected to believe that he's very smart too. And they don't do a great job of balancing that, in my opinion. They do not do a good job of balancing, in my mind, that Peter Parker at any given time is is like this savant of a thinker. It's just it's like they forget sometimes he's smart, and when they choose to introduce him being smart again, it kind of feels forced. So for me, in my mind, I look at that and say, was this part of the arc, or did you guys just remember this thing? So there are certain things that he does that just makes me say, would not have gone that route. Would not have gone that route. But hey, that's, once again, that is just me. And I had admittedly do not like this Peter Parker. Like, this Peter Parker is not my favorite, bar none. And I said it earlier, great fights and great action sequences in this movie. There is unadulterated aggression in some of these fights, and I like it. I really do like it, and I love the practicality. There's a moment where these two super beings are going blow for blow, and you're saying to yourself, where's the spectacle in this hand to hand? And then you see it hits you like a ton of bricks. Like, you get to see what it's like. Like, the speech that was given by one of these supers in the beginning gave light to like the capabilities of these people, and then it happened, and you were like, oh, y'all be fighting, y'all aggressive. Okay, I'm gonna sit this one out. Like, I don't want no problems, my guy. Like, it really puts you in that situation where all of a sudden you're concerned. This was the first time watching a Spider-Man fight and feeling concern for Spider-Man or whoever he's fighting. Like, there was a part of me that had a visceral, like, are you gonna be okay after this fight? And that's not something I've ever felt in a Spider-Man movie prior to now. That's not something that I've ever felt like, oh, Spider-Man's gonna be in danger after this fight. Never, not once. And that's a testament to the movie's ability, right, to invoke that level of like fear and reaction. So I commend it wholeheartedly on that. An aspect of it that did kind of worry me at first. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Marvel has this issue, and let me know if I'm reading this wrong, guys. Marvel has an issue, and I think the issue is they don't want nobody to feel sad in their movies. There are some tragic things that happen in this movie that, for the life of me, I just wanted I wanted this moment to breathe just for 10 seconds. I wanted this situation, this tragic situation that I just witnessed, to just breathe for 10 seconds, and they wouldn't give it to me. They would not give it to me. Like, the jokes, and then this, I didn't laugh. The funniest person in this movie is Jamie Foxx, and oh, well, I can't say that. But the funniest person is, one of the funniest people in this movie is Jamie Foxx. But every opportunity for them to throw a joke in, they tried to throw it in. And there was a part of me that was just like, can I just have this moment? Can I please just have this moment to just absorb what the hell just happened? They for the life of me, they would not let me have that moment. And it bothered me. It really did bother me, because this is a complaint I've had of Marvel for a while now. Marvel just doesn't want, they don't want you to feel sad. They want you to at all times be having a good time. And that doesn't really bode well for a movie that you're trying to put out there as a growth, because this is the third movie. So we need to see a version of Spider-Man that's experiencing consequences, and they just wouldn't let us have that. And there's something about that just rubbed me the wrong way. Right? It just rubbed me the wrong way personally, and maybe people don't feel that way. Like maybe they're okay with the 101 jokes every 10 seconds. But for me, I could go without. Honestly, I could honestly go without. But that was just me. I just wanted to see. I just wanted them to be let moments sit. Right. I already talked about how it was too long. I think the beginning of the movie was we get the recap, but if Marvel's willing to admit, this is the thing that was crazy for me. Marvel let a movie like uh, Endgame and Infinity War. There was no big recap in Endgame. Everyone's watching your movie, Marvel. Everyone and their mother is watching you've dominated the movie industry, and everyone in there, even the people who claim to be anti-Marvel goons, they are watching this movie, right? They're watching this movie. So 15 minutes could have easily been chopped off. The first part, the beginning part, us seeing the consequences of what happened in Far From Home. Didn't need it. Didn't need that recap. Did not need that recap. Could have been used more wisely in my eyes, but didn't need that recap. And this goes back to my issue with this version of Spider-Man and this version of the MCU Spider-Man, and why I don't like this version is because he doesn't. Spider-Man has yet to, in any movie, to solve any of his own problems. Listen to what I said. Spider-Man in his own movie has yet to be the one to resolve any of his own problems. And we're going into spoilers, and we'll introduce it into spoilers, but just this, let that resonate. We'll literally pick up right there. But this is my problem with him. The reason why this movie didn't get canned by me, because if you didn't know, Far From Home, it was not a good movie to me. It was not a good movie. I canned it, I trashed it, and I talked bad about it too. But this movie got the seal of approval from me because it literally set up. It's going to force me to watch the next one, and if the next one usurps my expectations, I'm done with this version of Spider-Man until they recast him, or in 10 years. I will gladly never see another Spider-Man movie in 10 years if they usurp the expectation they've set up right now. This movie for me, and for all you guys that don't know my rating, this is how I rate movies. Because hopefully you could discern from what I was saying in the movie that I did thoroughly enjoy this movie. But if you need a rating, here's my rating. I would give this movie a solid. If I woke up in the middle of this movie after already watching this and reading my review and seeing the movie, and I had something to do, I would cancel my plans to continue watching this movie, because the third act was well worth it. It was a really good third act. It saved the movie for me. The pre-third act, the ending of the second act, saved it for me. And now we'll go into spoilers. So I'm gonna put up the little spoiler tag. At this point, if you're watching this, and we're gonna change the lights blue. Wait, I don't know where my little clicky button went. Oh no, my remote. Oh, there it is. All right, we're going blue. All right, we're in spoiler territory. Spoiler alert. If you are still watching this, you are perfectly fine with this movie being spoiled for you. Once again, I gave my rating, and if I cut this up, I don't know if I'll cut it up. I've given my rating. I said that I would, if I woke up in a movie theater after already watching a movie and it was halfway through the movie, or even at the beginning of the movie, I would stay there to finish the movie because it was just that damn good. Even if I had shit to do, I would cancel those plans. This movie was really good. The problem I have with this movie is Spider-Man has yet to solve any of his own problems. In the first movie, his problems were literally solved via technology. The suit made him, and that was something he had to learn. You know, he learned that you make the suit doesn't make you. But ironically, he learned that lesson again in the second movie. And he's only figured that problem out because, once again, Tony Stark equipment came in to save his ass. And he was able to regain control of the equipment. And he had his brainy moments, but the movie altogether was not bad. It really, Quentin Beck killed himself. So it's not like, you know, not like he had to do anything to stop that. And then in this third movie, Daddy Strange came and saved him again. And he suffered consequences for it, but he didn't get to that resolute by himself. Here's some things that I had issues with in the movie. So Spider-Man knows magic now? Huh? He can open and close portals now? Like, so everyone can do magic in this universe. Magic is not exclusive. So any of us could become the Sorcerer Supreme. What makes Doctor Strange so much better than everyone else? Furthermore, there's no way in hell, stop the cap right now. Doctor Strange is not losing a 1v1 in the mirror dimension with Spider-Man. Sorry. I'm sorry. Because this is where I come to the part where Spider-Man is street smart, is book smart, but not street smart. Even if he could calculate that on the fly, which I don't think he can calculate, I think it's more of his spider senses, I'll give you that. His spider senses are clearly broken. They're so broken that even when his soul is detached from his body, it's confirmed. Spider senses are not Peter's ability to react. It's his body's protection device. But now it's confirmed that it has an autonomy about itself. Anything that the body is holding or wants to protect, it will protect. So spider senses can be extended to non-inanimate objects, which is incredible. That was a great scene where Doctor Strange is trying to grab the box from an unconscious Peter Parker, and the body is still reacting to it. It was great. It was such a great one. Furthermore, he can astral project himself and re-enter his body. Like, so Peter Parker, he's broken in this movie, but he's broken when he needs to be. It was never established that Peter could do magic. It was never even hinted he was gifted in it. Just why did you give, like, you could, I guess you had to figure out a way of closing that sequence out, but it just seemed lazy, like lazy writing to me. Like, why was this the only method or approach taken, rather, you know? Like, what else could have been done to make this a little bit more believable? In my eyes, I think is the best way to put it. I just didn't see a situation where Doctor Strange loses a fight to Peter Parker in the astral world. Like, what? Y'all got some balls on y'all, but there's neither here or there. I'm totally, no one's beyond reproach in this field, right? So I'm totally interested to see like what they'll do moving forward. But I don't think Doctor Strange really does lose this fight. And also, I don't think he was probably going 100%. That could be determined still. Like, but man, that fight right there kind of, it definitely made me give pause. Like, okay, we on that bullshit. Great character development. Doctor Strange won me over in this movie, but I think the thing that I wasn't prepared for was the character growth of these other characters. So in the movie, the total list of, it's not the movie you think it is. It's not like the situation where they got like the Sinister Six or anything like that. It's really, wait, my thing is not working. It's really, the Sinister Six is more like the Sinister Fifth. The spectacle, the fifth like they're not, the Sinister Six is there's no sixth person. There could have been. Venom does show up in the post-credit scenes. I don't know how I would have felt if he really showed up in the movie. I think that would have been overkill. But It's not a Sinister Six movie, so like if that's what you're coming here with the expectation of, you might be disappointed with that. But it definitely it's the closest we'll get to a good version of that, right? So like, kudos to them for even being able to, put this much effort into it. Jamie Foxx in the out of the villains stole the show for me. The only time I laughed during this movie was when he was on screen, and um, the only time, the only person who had a drastic change. His change was, it made sense to me why he was different. He was different because the energy and the two different, it just made sense. And this speaks to something greater. Sony does not know what to do with superhero movies, because out of the three Spider-Mans in this movie, my favorite one was Andrew Garfield. And this is proof to me that if Andrew Garfield was made by Marvel instead of Sony, the Amazing Spider-Man was in control of Sony. I mean, in control of Marvel instead of Sony. Andrew Garfield probably would have been the best Spider-Man ever. He was so good in this movie. There's a lot of emotional things that happen in this movie, but of all the Spider-Man movie moments where the love interest is in danger, Gwen Stacy's death ripples across the Spider-Verse. Her death changed what it meant to save someone in a show. It took it very literal. In the comic book, it was a very literal thing. In the comic book, it's a visceral thing. It was probably the most visceral thing we've seen in Spider-Man comic books. To see the person you saved them, but you saved them incorrectly, and it snapped her neck. In the comic book, her neck breaks because Spider-Man webs her leg, and the abrupt stop snaps her neck. And from that, he learned and perfected his technique, and he blamed himself. In the movie, he wasn't in time. He webbed her just before she hit the ground, and her body hit the ground, slamming her head against the ground. And in this movie, he's given an opportunity to save MJ. And when he caught her, he forgave himself. That saving her healed him. And there's a part of me that really, really thinks Andrew Garfield deserves a second chance. If they do the Miles Morales of the Spider-Verse in live action, that better be the Spider-Man, the one of redemption. Andrew Garfield was so good in this. Funny. The two times I laughed out loud was when I was talking about it earlier in the chat. I've stopped drawing because I had so much fun with Andrew Garfield's character. So good. We do not deserve Andrew Garfield. And this is further proof to me that his movie was not his failing. Poor writing, poor handling, and Sony's just inability to just gracefully handle characters. I think Sony has a bigger issue. Why won't they just Sony has such a big issue with handling characters. But like another issue that sprung to mind, and the thing that made Andrew so good was he was actually funny. Amongst the Spider-Man, he has the best quips. This Andrew Garfield Spider-Man has the best quips. I'll fight you over that. He's funny. His quips are intentional. And it makes sense why he would be this. He was so well done. His immediate reaction and interaction with when they first so basically Ned's magic too, and this is just setting Ned up to be a bad guy, right? Like they foreshadowed everything. In the comic books, Ned is a bad guy. Like he's a friend of Spider-Man who becomes a bad guy. They literally foreshadowed that in this movie. So I just want to say shout out to him. But there's a moment where Ned's asking Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, hey, how who's your best friend and what does he do? Do you have a manager? He's like, oh yeah, I did, and you know, he tried to kill me. And he's like, yeah, you know. And Ned makes this thing where he's like, I'll never try and kill you, Peter. And he just gives him this reassuring pat on the back, like, good job, man. Like, I love that so much for Andrew Garfield. He calls himself the lame Spider-Man, but the truth is he's not. He was just mismanaged. He's the worst case of mismanaged Spider-Man ever. Because there's reason to believe that he is actually one of the best Spider-Mans in the series if he was handled appropriately by his company. And you see what happens when they're not. You clearly see what happens when they're not. So Andrew Garfield stole the show for me. He was so entertaining to watch, and I could gush over him full homo the whole entire movie. Like, watching him move around, because it's unique to him. It's unique to him because of the way he's designed, the way he's lengthed out. He's super long, so his Spider-Man moving just seems like a very lanky Spider-Man. Whenever I draw Spider-Man, I always draw the lankier version of him because it's the version of him that resonates the most with me. So seeing him like just go toe to toe with the other ones, and you know, while Toby's like the granddaddy of them all, like there's no replacing Toby, but Andrew really did win me over. He really did win me over, and if I had to rank my favorite Spider-Mans in order right now, it would go. And it's crazy because I have to base it off the movies, but if I take this to be canon, it would honestly go Toby, because obviously he's the first, so you never forget your first. Andrew, and then Tom Holland. Prior to this movie, Tom Holland would have easily been the second behind Toby, with Andrew being third. After this movie, no, it's a no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer. Andrew Garfield did that much for his representation as Spider-Man, and that's what this movie really did. It gave people a second chance, because if you want to be honest, who else got a really good redo? Jamie Foxx and his Electro, and the fact that they used reason to actually explain that makes sense. New electricity, new power, same great villain. I love that for him. But the thing that's crazy to me is that, like, I don't know if he would come back and be the Spider-Man in the Miles Morales universe. I would love that, though. He has the personality. That's the Peter I would want to be the mentor of Miles Morales. He's down on his luck, because it's fair to say that Toby is the perfect one, right? He figured out a way to cure Osborn. He figured out a way to help Doc Ock. The Peter of Tobey Maguire, he's probably the best one amongst them. And I feel like if he was left to his devices, he could have probably solved this issue by himself. But hey, that's neither here or there, right? Because they definitely gave Tom the center floor, and I thought he was definitely going to disappear into this movie, but he definitely held his own. The big twist in this movie, the only thing that surprised me, and let me just say this, Sony ruined The Amazing Spider-Man by making it all available in the trailer. You could literally figure out the movie, The Amazing Spider-Man, via the trailer. And there's nothing that really surprised me in this movie except for this one scene that I'm about to talk about. And I'm just here to say, I don't think I'm going to be watching too many more trailers from here on out, because me knowing what was going to happen in this movie did take away a lot of the zeitgeist for me. It just, I didn't feel like, when I saw the first trailer and I saw Doc Ock, and the Green Goblin, and then a sandstorm, and then an electricity storm, it didn't take much for me to figure out, oh, the bad guys are here, so logically, why wouldn't the good guys be here either? Like it wasn't far fetched. So like I don't know if I'll be watching that many trailers from here on out. It just doesn't like I envy people who just walked into this movie blind. I think I want to have that level of no, like not knowing, because it really does change the movie when you think about the things that are happening on screen that didn't happen. And the big twist in this is we finally hear the MCU version, like we heard a version of it in Civil War. With great power comes great responsibility. But it was changed. It was like when you have a certain level of power or something like that, and the people with power don't use that power, bad things happen, and they happen because of you. That was Uncle Ben's with great power and responsibility. But apparently Peter didn't learn shit from that. So he had to hear it again. But this, unfortunately, this time when he heard it, it cost this. And this has changed the meaning of with great power comes great responsibility. Aunt May said it this time. And when she said it, she died. They killed off Aunt May in this universe. And that hit me. I was not ready for that, because I don't know if I didn't know this prior to, or it just because I'm seeing it for the first time and I'm older and I'm hearing it now and it's happening to someone other than Uncle Ben. When that line comes out, someone's dying. Period. And it hit me to see, because I didn't think they had the balls to do it. You killing Aunt May? Nah, bruh. Why? And I think I know why. It's because this Spider-Man hasn't suffered yet. He's truly had an amazing life, and it came to fruition when he said, "Okay, guys, I've worked on a team before. Oh, that's great. The Avengers." And the other ones didn't know who they were, because this Spider-Man is spoiled. He hasn't lost enough. And that's a hot take for me, probably. But this is why I don't like this Spider-Man, because he doesn't this Spider-Man doesn't feel like a Spider-Man that I can relate to. What has he endured that's going to make him do or act responsibly? And the answer I keep coming to is nothing. Ain't nothing special about him other than the fact that he runs with the Avengers. Hot take. We like this Spider-Man because of the Avengers. Period. It's not because otherwise there's nothing else special about him. And him standing next to the other Spider-Mans prove that to me. Prove that to me wholeheartedly. Aunt May was wrong. No matter how you want to chop it up, if we're using the rules of the universe to be the guiding light here, wait, what do you want? What do you want from this situation? They're not from here. Send them back to where they come from. Because honest to God, if we didn't hear Aunt May's version of this and Doctor Strange sent them back, would there be any beef? Would we call Doctor Strange a bad guy in this situation? No. So why are we making this Spider-Man's issue? Furthermore, in their universes, those Spider-Mans didn't necessarily actively try to kill them. Green Goblin killed himself. Dr. Connor did. He literally sacrificed himself. His hubris. Same thing with Electro. Sandman didn't die. Doc Ock regained his humanity and sacrificed himself. So it's not like these people died in vain. They died with the realization of an error of their ways. Why has our Peter Parker got to solve that issue? And because of her lack of understanding of the bigger picture, it put herself in a situation to be sacrificed. So the bleeding heart of Aunt May, while her message was important, it wasn't the right thing to do. But then there wouldn't really be a movie now, would there? So I get it, right? I get it, right? You just wish there was a little bit more effort put into keeping people consistent. Because Doctor Strange sends these people back. No one bats an eye. No one says that this is horrible, this is wrong, we shouldn't be doing this. Peter wants to do it. Now all of a sudden it's an issue. Now it's an issue. Peter wants to do it. It's an issue. The reason why I like this movie so much is because of the setup, and I think people at Marvel understand this. It gives Peter Parker the opportunity to be the version of Peter Parker that's most enjoyable. A struggling Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man gets a lot of flack because he doesn't seem to suffer. He has the best girl. He's cool. Has cool hair. He's a skateboarder. He's smart. He's intelligent. He's just quippy. He's just too cool. He's not relatable. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man suffers a lot, so we empathize with him. We feel bad for him, and I feel like then this version of Spider-Man, Tom Holland, he gets it too easily. He knows the Avengers. He knows gods. He knows he's traveled to space. He has support. He's been blipped. He's come back. Like, he doesn't suffer consequences. So when we get Spider-Man back, when we get him back, we're going to get to see a version of him who suffers consequences. He made his own suit. We get to see him use his own mind, his own brain. He has none of the tech, no special gizmo, no nothing, is just him. And preferably I would like to see a version of him that isn't fighting Tony Stark tech or being saved from Tony Stark's tech. Even in this movie, he's saved by Tony Stark's technology. He's saved by the MacGuffin. So I just want to see a version of this kid just doing neighborhood, a very soft. And I think if they're gonna do the story about him being hunted, the Great Hunt by the Craven the Hunter, perfect, and he would make a great 6. Perfect. But yeah, those are my hot takes on it. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. Another thing that I've been holding, I don't think I have the authority to say this, so I've been holding out on it. But I'll put the idea out there. Why come our version of why can't we have a pretty, and this is why I don't think I have the right to say this. It's not that it's not pretty, but why is this version of Mary Jane or the love interest not being projected or perceived as the most beautiful person in the universe? Because Zendaya is fucking gorgeous, but she's given this very tomboyish look about her, and this is her personality, this is her style, and this goes more to what people were saying in the beginning. This isn't the Mary Jane that we, the MJ that we know. This is not her. This is not even the same character. It's a different character. But there's a part of me that feels like they're underselling her beauty. And I find her to be gorgeous, but they definitely downdress her. And I don't know. Maybe I'm subjecting her to my beauty standards, and maybe I'm taking it too serious. But that has been something that has bothered me about seeing her in these roles, because while she does take a more prominent position in the show, her and her and Ned don't don't serve much of a purpose outside of comedic or emotional uh pull, because they 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 literally were forced into it or given something to do when it came to finding the Spider-Mans, because I just assumed that when Peter was swinging, or one of the, like, they would have had an interaction with each other, but I think, like, that's what their purpose was. I'm okay with that, but I don't know, maybe I'm asking for too much or being a little too headstrong on this topic. I don't know. I follow Zendaya on Instagram, and when I look at her on Instagram and look at her in the movies, and I'm like, this ain't really acting. This is just y'all holding out on me, to be honest. Like, put some respect on my girl's name. Like, the disrespect is too real right now, and I just can't take it. I just can't take it. But yeah, I don't know. But let me know what you guys think of the movie. Right? Did you guys like, did you guys like it? Obviously you liked it, right? I don't think anyone's going to say that this wasn't a good movie, but for sure, what comes next I am more excited for. I'm more excited for what's going to happen next in the Spider-Man universe than than what has happened in the past. And a very unique situation where the third movie was the best one. If this is how the series ends, even though I know it won't, very good closing, great closing, and they did it well. They did it well. I'll give them that. So kudos to the director, the acting crew, all of the people involved in this movie. They definitely did the damn thing, for sure, for sure. So I'm eager to see what everyone else says. I know the reviews and all this stuff will be coming out here shortly. Thank you guys for watching this. I'm gonna just continue coloring, but the review's over with, and no one joined me. Normally I thought like somebody would join me and we could talk about it, but I am drawing super late. It's 5 o'clock. Oh my god! So I'll be getting off here shortly myself. How much time I got left? I got 10 minutes. So let's if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, we're here for it. But I'm gonna draw. I need to set up any music for you guys, so probably won't get that. Can you hear it? Yummy now. But yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. It was so good. Oh, I will say this. Hey, you know what? Two things have the same energy but are different. People who clap in a movie, during a movie, or at the end of a movie, and people who also stand up the moment the plane lands. Why y'all doing that? Why are y'all like that? Why is that something y'all feel comfortable doing? Because one, why are you clapping during a movie? Why are you know what it is? People who clap during a movie, they just want to feel like they want to be able to say, this is, like, those are people that they're the people that want to be recognized. I'm enjoying this movie so much that I'm going to let everyone else know, if you're not having as much fun as me, you're probably not understanding or enjoying the movie as much as me. And you can't be considered, you can't be deemed a real fan because you don't enjoy this movie as much as I'm enjoying it. They want to show everyone in the room that their enjoyment is on another level. You can't compare. You can't compare to how much I'm enjoying. And that, in my eyes, is so annoying. Because why are you so pressed to interrupt? Because that's what you're really doing, right? You're interrupting the movie. You're clapping You're clapping for some strange reason, but in the truth of it, you're just interrupting the movie. So stop being annoying. There was this group in front of me who was just like, you could just tell they had to be like 22, 23. And there was this very flamboyant dude who was just so loud. And he's the type of person who drinks so he can do dumb stuff and then say, I was drunk and that's why you can't be mad at me. Like, don't be mad at me. You can't be mad at me for what I did while I was drunk because I was drunk and that's my excuse. Like, they were so obnoxious. And in my eyes, like, I just, I just let it roll off of me. But at the same time, I was sitting there thinking, like, dude, you are unbearable. Like, and if someone attacked him, they would attack. Like, if someone attacked him, his defense would be, you don't like me because I'm probably, I don't know if he was gay, but the way he was clinging on to his partner, the male dude next to him, was pretty identical. But like, I could only attack you on the characters that I saw in the movie theater, which is you were obnoxious. Like, you're not a pleasant person to be around, and you default to I'm being drunk. Like, he was just being unbearable. And it's for the reason why, like, going to the movies, if it wasn't because if I didn't go see this movie, somebody was gonna spoil it for me. But in retrospect, oh wait, I guess I could take this off now since I'm not spoiling anything. Why do I still have 7? Like, what is going on? The thing like, I wouldn't be able to get back on the internet, like, because people would eventually start talking about it. They would have spoiled it for me, and that would have been sucks. But I would have easily paid $30. I would have paid $30 to just watch this movie one time at the house. Come from my home. That it has to become a model. It has to become a business model, because after the pandemic, it wasn't so much about like being bothered, or not the pandemic as much as like at this point it's like, I don't want to be bothered. Who wants to go sit in a movie theater with people? What for? What for? So I think for sure it's something we should consider bringing, the pandemic time movie theater events, because I'm not interested in going to the movie theaters with people anymore. People are unbearable. Unbearable. But yeah, that was my hot take on that situation. Like, just making noise, clap. The thing, they clapped, they clapped when they saw Matthew Murdock. Oh, I guess I should have that spoilers thing. They clapped when they saw like things that you saw in the trailer. Things that, like, are you dumb? Like, why are you clapping? You saw the trailer. You saw this in the trailer. So why are you clapping? These are things you saw in the trailer. So why are you clapping? And once again, they're doing it just to be recognized. Like, I am enjoying this movie as much as anybody and everybody. And if you're not enjoying it as much as me, are you even really a fan? The answer is yes. You're obnoxious and no one cares. Yeah. Ooh. 3 minutes. Shout out to everybody that's been joined up, linked in. Appreciate y'all kicking in with me. I was able to get some more shading in. Good little scenario we got going on. I'm still super pleased with this. Just super, like, this is super tough. Like, super tough. Like, this is super tough ass picture. I almost want to, like, clip this. But yeah, we'll call it. Got 2 minutes. Oh, I don't know where to go next. I think I want to go to the car next. But the car is basically black, so I gotta use, like, you can barely see this line, so it's like I gotta use like lighter tones to show the car being darker. So like I would have to shade this one in and shade this one in, shade this one out, shade this one out, shade this one out. And I guess I want to use my pen properly. So we'll call it quits here. You guys take care. We'll probably be on playing the game or coding later with the boys. But y'all take it easy. Let me know what y'all think about the Spider-Man. And I'll get back to y'all later. Alright? Peace. I'm trying to figure out why my stream is still out.